There is a force inside of us that has the power to shape our lives and determine whether we rise above our circumstances or are defeated by them. This force is not some magical power or gift from the gods. It is something much more accessible and within the reach of all humans: our will. Our ability to choose our thoughts, actions and reactions is what truly sets us apart from other animals and gives us the power to create our own destiny. But why is it that we don't use this power? Why do we allow external factors like other people, our past or our environment to dictate how we feel and act? The answer is fear. Fear of failure, fear of pain, fear of the unknown. These fears hold us back from taking the actions we need to succeed and from facing our problems with courage and determination. In today's episode, we're going to talk about Stoicism, a philosophy that can help us overcome these fears and unleash the power that lies within us. We will explore how Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, to accept what we cannot control, and to use this clarity to live a life of purpose and fulfillment. So if you're ready to discover the power within and learn how to use it to create the life you want, then let's get started. But before we do that, remember to hit the like button and subscribe for more content that will help you become the best version of yourself. The first step to harnessing the power within is to understand the difference between what we can control and what we can't. This is a fundamental principle of Stoicism, one that the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who was also the last emperor of the Pax Romana, constantly reminded himself of when he faced challenges and adversity. According to Stoicism, there are two types of events that happen in our lives. The first type is things that depend on our will. For example, whether we choose to be kind, honest, or brave in our interactions with others. The second type is things that don't depend on our will, such as the weather, other people's opinions, or whether we get sick or not. The problem is that we often worry about and get upset over things that we can't control. We get angry at the rain for ruining our picnic. We fret over other people's comments about our appearance or performance. We panic when we hear a health diagnosis. But by focusing our attention and energy on things that are beyond our power, we distract ourselves from what really matters, the things that we can control. And so by dwelling on the uncontrollable, we rob ourselves of the ability to focus on what we can influence and ultimately to live a life of happiness and fulfillment. This is where Stoicism can help us, by reminding us to focus on what we can control and to accept what we can't. When we face a situation that is beyond our control, such as a natural disaster or a global pandemic, we can choose to react with fear, anger, and despair. Or we can choose to accept it with serenity, courage, and wisdom. We can't change the fact that the earthquake happened or that the virus is spreading, but we can change how we respond to it. We can choose to help others affected by the disaster. We can choose to follow the health guidelines and to protect ourselves and others. We can choose to see the disaster as an opportunity to learn and to grow. By practicing this kind of selective focus, we free ourselves from the burden of worry and anxiety that comes from trying to control everything. We also open ourselves up to the possibility of finding meaning and purpose in every situation, no matter how challenging it may seem. Another way to harness the power within is to take responsibility for our thoughts, actions, and emotions. This is a lesson that the ancient Greek philosopher Epicurus taught his students. He said that we are responsible for our own happiness, and that it is up to us to cultivate the virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. He also said that we should not blame external factors or other people for our own shortcomings or failures. Rather, we should look inward and examine our own beliefs, habits, and biases that may be holding us back. For example, if we are feeling anxious or stressed, we should ask ourselves what assumptions or expectations are causing that feeling. Are we expecting others to treat us perfectly all the time? Are we expecting ourselves to perform flawlessly without making any mistakes? Are we expecting life to be fair and easy, free from any challenges or setbacks? If we find that we have unrealistic expectations or beliefs that are causing us distress, we can then choose to challenge those beliefs and replace them with more realistic and helpful ones. We can practice mindfulness and self-awareness to observe our thoughts and emotions without judging or reacting to them. We can cultivate gratitude and acceptance of whatever situation we are in, knowing that it is part of the human condition and that it can teach us valuable lessons if we are open to learning them. By taking responsibility for ourselves, we also take control of our own destiny. We become less vulnerable to the whims of fate or fortune and more capable of shaping our own future. We become more resilient in the face of adversity and more joyful in the midst of prosperity. We become more compassionate toward ourselves and others, understanding that everyone makes mistakes and that everyone deserves a chance to learn and grow. Finally, another way to unleash the power within is to practice forgiveness. This is a virtue that the Stoics considered essential for living a good and peaceful life. They knew that holding on to grudges and resentments only hurts ourselves, and that forgiving others is not about condoning their behavior, but about freeing ourselves from the burden of anger and bitterness. Think about someone who has wronged you in the past. Maybe it's a friend who betrayed your trust, a family member who abandoned you, or a stranger who insulted you. How does holding on to that resentment make you feel? Does it make you feel better about yourself or worse about them? Does it solve the problem or make it worse? Chances are it doesn't do any of those things. It only keeps you stuck in the past and prevents you from moving forward. Now imagine that you let go of that resentment and forgive that person. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free of it. How does that make you feel? Does it make you feel lighter, happier, or more at peace? Does it make you feel more in control of your present and future, or more victimized by your past? Chances are it does all those things and more. Forgiveness is not easy, but it is possible. It takes time, effort, and practice, but the rewards are immense. It requires you to have empathy and understanding towards yourself and others, to recognize that everyone makes mistakes, and that everyone has something to forgive you for as well. It requires you to focus on the positive aspects of your life, and to appreciate the blessings you have, rather than dwelling on the negative ones. It requires you to be honest and direct in your communication, and to express your feelings and needs clearly rather than passively or aggressively. In short, forgiveness is a key part of living a virtuous and happy life according to Stoicism. It is a way to turn enemies into friends, to convert pain into pleasure, to transform fear into courage, to overcome anger, and to live with tranquility. It is a way to become the best version of yourself. So, my friends, I encourage you to practice forgiveness whenever you can. You will not regret it. We have talked about 3 ways to harness the power within. Focus on what you can control and accept what you can't. Take responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and emotions. Practice forgiveness towards yourself and others. These are not just abstract ideas or theoretical concepts. They are practical tools that you can use every day to improve your life and your character. You have the power to choose your attitude and actions. You have the power to shape your habits and beliefs. You have the power to heal old wounds and build new bridges. You have the power to be your own hero or heroine. You have the power to live a life of purpose and meaning. Don't waste it on fear, anger, or resentment. Don't let it slip away with procrastination, distraction, or complacency. Don't squander it with apathy, cynicism, or despair. Use it now. Use it today. Use it right where you are. Use it with what you have. Use it with who you are. And if you want to learn more about Stoicism and its practical applications for modern life, check out the links in the description below. And remember that you are not alone in this journey. There is a community of Stoic practitioners and enthusiasts who can support and inspire you. You can also subscribe for more videos and podcasts that will help you become the best version of yourself. Thank you for watching and listening. May you be happy, healthy, and wise.